Welcome to the Report. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out. Man, we are here on a Friday, which means tomorrow is divisional round weekend for the NFL. You see it. But first, before we get into that, and we also got a guest today. We got a guest, someone who I wanted to help, help me make these picks because she is a Texas native, and she has roots and live in Michigan. So she's a Texan and she's rooting for the Lions, and I wanted to get her perspective on that. But before we get into that, I wanted to thank you guys for helping us reach our goal. We hit 1,800 subscribers. We actually did it yesterday. I wasn't able to get on yesterday, but we actually hit it yesterday, and the goal was to hit it by Friday. So I really do appreciate that. So now this is, the drive to 1,900. Let's see if we can get the 1,900. Let's call it by next Wednesday. Is that reasonable? Next Wednesday? Let's see if we can get the 1,900, but let's see if we can get the 1,830 by the end of today. But that's probably gonna put us on track to even succeed, to reach our goal faster. But I really do appreciate it. So we are gonna make divisional picks today. We are gonna get into that. We're gonna make picks for all the games, and we're gonna have our guests talk to us about the Texans and the Chiefs game. And we're going to have her talk to us about the Commanders and the Lions game. So without further ado, let's start the show.
Tell me what they want to see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they want to see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they want to see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they want to see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report?
Cool. Welcome to the Report. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out again. We do have a guest today. I have a friend of mine who is joining us to talk about two particular games I wanted to get her input on. We have Emil Knox. And Emil, if you could just introduce yourself to the audience, that'll be great.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emil Knox. I am an attorney in civil litigation. So that's a part of why I'm here. I'm also from Pontiac, Michigan, right outside of Detroit. Had a house on the east side of Detroit. So
nice.
I'm so excited about the game on Saturday because Lions have a real shot this year.
Yeah.
So
and what
I'm
about
excited to be here.
What about the Texans? You have roots in Texas too, as well, right?
I do. So I am kind of like a duo fan. But Lions are the ones that live in my heart.
For the Lions,
but
okay.
I did live in Houston, Texas for a while at two separate times, right?
Okay.
I love Houston. So the Texans have a special place in my heart, but in Texas, I'm more of an Astros fan. The Rockets or the Pistons at this point.
Hey,
I grew up when Billups was playing, so you know.
Hey, Houston, I won't say they're surprising me, but to be that good that fast, the Rockets, I mean, I think they have a shot to make it far in the playoffs. I'll just say that about the Rockets.
So I think so, but I'm curious in the football arena. I think Houston has a game, or Texans have a game coming up again.
Yes, they play Kansas City Saturday.
So I'm interested to keep tabs on that game as well to see if there's another matchup, because I went to the Houston Texans Detroit Lions game.
Okay.
Back in November.
Okay, they did play this year. It was a Sunday night game. Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Yes, they did. And Detroiters came down to represent. It was called the Detroit Takeover. Everybody from Detroit was in Houston having a ball and partying. But halftime, they were talking so much smack about, all the Lions players or, fans who came to support, and how it'll be better luck next time. And then it took a change.
I saw it. I remember the 5 interceptions from Goff, and I was like, oh man, this ain't gonna be good. But I also remember Houston not capitalizing and adding on to the score. And you can't leave a team like Detroit open to make a comeback, and they did. So how did the atmosphere change once the Lions came back to win?
It went crazy. It was so much blue in the sea of red at the home stadium. I mean, everybody was in the building. Like, you go to Instagram, you see all the Detroit rappers, local rappers. I think even at the clubs, I saw Payroll Giovanni. I had an impromptu Skilla Baby concert. It just went crazy. Like, it was too much fun.
Okay, so before we get to the Detroit Washington game, the Chiefs and Texans game. So do you think your Texans, you think they have a chance against Mahomes? You think they can pull off the upset? Because I know the odds maker, they aren't giving the Texans a chance in this game, really.
They're not, but based on that Lions game I saw, we know that a team can change the board at any time. So I really think don't count them out. It'll probably depend on their morale if they think they can do it. But all the chatter on all the sports talk and all the networks say it's Holmes, it's Missouri.
Right.
But I would make a wager for Missouri, but I'm not gonna count the Texans out. I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah, a lot of people, they were one last thing on that. They were underdogs in the Chargers game. Even I admit, I said, oh, the Chargers, I think the Chargers are going to get them. They were underdogs in that game, and they ended up blowing the Chargers out. So I'm definitely not. I'm going to stick with the Chiefs because I'm doing predictions on this video. So I'm going to stick with the Chiefs, but after last week, I'm not going to count them out either.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm sticking with the Chiefs, but I'm not going to count them out. I'll just say some people or some teams, they really thrive in that underdog spirit
because they know they have nothing to lose. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that the Detroit Lions were there when we had Sue on our team, within the past 5 years, and the team has progressively gotten better and better. Leadership has gotten better and just kind of got back to team basics. I mean, I haven't paid attention to the Lions probably since Reggie Bush, but that was only because it was Reggie Bush.
Okay.
As well as Barry Sanders times. So for many years in Detroit, it was the Red Wings, the hockey team. That was
I remember that. And that's what I wanted to get into as far as like, because I can just paint a picture real quick. I remember the Detroit Lions of old. I remember the 0-16 season. I remember constantly being a top draft pick and things like that. And then they made the playoffs a couple times with Stafford, a few times, I believe 3 times I want to say. But then, you know what I'm saying, y'all had to endure a lot. So y'all had to endure a lot as Detroit Lions fans. But then you have Dan Campbell come in. And do you remember that press conference he gave about the biting the kneecap and all that?
I don't remember that press conference, but I do remember when we lost Stafford and the city took a toll because he is like Detroit's sweetheart.
That's interesting.
Him and his wife are very active in the community in terms of philanthropy and contributing to the community. So we were sad to see him go, but we were also excited for him to progress in his career.
And he won. That was an exciting moment, I can imagine. Even though it wasn't for the Lions, I know I know a lot of sport teams have. You know what I'm saying? Sad to see one of their superstars go, but then they go win a championship. You're like, man, I wish that was for our team. But hey, happy for him.
We did, but we were all, I think, very excited for him.
Mm-hmm. But just from the and I'll have to send you that Dan Campbell press conference after this. But for when he was first introduced as the coach, it was real funny. So from the hire, they went 3 wins that season. The very next season, they started like 1-6, but then they had a great ending to the season to go 9-7, 9-8, and they beat the Packers in the last game of the season to knock Green Bay out of the playoffs. Detroit didn't make it, and this is 2022. And then now we go to 2023 where they are 1 game from the Super Bowl. Yeah. Talk to me about that season real quick. That game.
That was hard. It was the palpitation in the city, was crazy because we were so excited that we even got that close. But to lose when we were 1 game away, we took a hit, but we knew that we were going to come back better and stronger this season.
Yeah. And speaking of that, too, the first time in history, they have won 15 games. First time in history, they are the 1 seed. They got Washington this week. How do you think that? I know you got the Lions winning, but how do you think that game is going to go? And are you familiar with Washington's quarterback, Jaden Daniels?
I'm not familiar with the quarterback, but I'm familiar with the team in general. It's always been a formidable opponent, right? Even when there were other famous or notable players with Washington. So I think that it's going to go well. I do think it's something that we have to watch. We can't get too cocky,
Right.
given it's a home game. I know that the city is going to go crazy on Saturday. But I also feel, and correct me if I'm wrong about that being a home game, but I feel like everybody's setting up
Yeah.
for Saturday already. But I think we have to play strong. We have to play well. We cannot rest on our past laurels. I think we're all guilty of it in our professional career, in our personal career, team sports. Sometimes, we walk in with that cockiness because we just did this in the past, but can't stay asleep. You got to be prepared for battle.
Yeah, Washington is definitely a team I would, not recommend sleeping on. But I think they know that because they learned from their experience from last season. Not that they slept on the 49ers, but they know what the goal is. So they're going to take every team seriously. But I do appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate that. And it really does make the Texans and Lions games that much more exciting knowing someone connected with those cities. So and
Absolutely. Thank you. And listen, if you ever want more sports fans, call me. I got other people to connect you with who may be a little bit more knowledgeable than I am. But even just being at that game, I mean, it really put an excitement back in me about sports that, I used to turn the channel before anything happened. For a while, I was only really paying attention to college football, especially when, what's that kid from Louisiana?
What he went? Did he go to LSU?
Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah.
I was a fan. I was watching him, and when he was on fire, I was paying attention to college sports because I learned college is where you can see who's going to go to the league and who's really gonna shine. So I kind of like seeing them, the stars that rise.
Yeah.
But you can always have me back, and then next time maybe we'll get a chance to talk about that Fox case.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to talk about that one. Do you get a chance to look through that?
I did get a chance to look through it, but I didn't finish the entire complaint as it's 42 pages. But
yeah,
baby, it is a mess.
I'm telling you, I definitely want to dive into that. We're gonna schedule that definitely. But I do appreciate your time, and again, you have a blessed day, and let's talk again soon.
Sounds good. Have a great day, Jason.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Emil, appreciate you, Emil. Thank you for coming on for the channel to just give us that insight on Detroit football and the Texans, of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to go now to our poll that we put up here on the report for all 4 divisional playoff games. So I put up the poll on the Texans Chiefs, and again, I do have the Chiefs winning that game, but after that Chargers game, I'm not sleeping on Houston. I'm not sleeping on them at all, but I am going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs to win this football game right here. And as you can see, 63% of you guys says that the Chiefs will win, 37% says the Texans. And we go to the other Saturday game with the Lions and the Commanders. You guys cast your votes on that one. 74% of you got Detroit, overwhelming favorite. 26% says Jaden Daniels, the rookie, is going to pull it off. We're going to see. We're going to see. And then Sunday, we're going to talk about our Sunday games briefly. Now, this one right here, a little closer. 58% of you say Eagles, and it's going to be a snowy game, as the forecast said. 42% of y'all say the Rams. Somebody in the comment section on this post said, this is nothing but Eagles hate because there's no way the Rams is, coming from Arizona to cold, snowy Philly to beat the Eagles. So this is not even Rams fans. It's just Eagles hate. That's according to somebody in the comments on this. So 58% of y'all got the Eagles. 42% got the Rams. Look, I picked the Eagles from the beginning to make it to the Super Bowl. I don't see any need to hop off that now. So I'm taking the Eagles in this game as well. And then we got Bills and Ravens, another snowy game. This is going to cap off divisional weekend, Sunday night. It's going to be a movie out there. The 2 MVP front runners, the votes have already been cast, so this game won't have any implications on that. So the two MVP frontrunners, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Buffalo versus Baltimore. The odds makers have Baltimore. Let me check to see if it's still so. Because the odds makers had Baltimore winning this game. Yeah, they still have Baltimore by 1 in Buffalo. And even if they had Buffalo by 1, you would still say the Ravens are favorite because as a home team, if you're not getting at least 3 points, then you're the underdog. But 63% of you guys here on the report says Baltimore, just like I do. 38% says Buffalo. I picked the Ravens and Eagles to get to the Super Bowl, and I'm not going to jump off that now. So that is the last game of the divisional weekend, and that is our time on the report. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We appreciate Emil again for coming on. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's continue to get that count up. We're at 1815 now. I do appreciate it, and we will talk soon. Peace.
Hear me out, here we go with the report. Bring it to you live, on time. Bring it to you live, on time. Bring it to you live, on time. Bring it to you live.